3, 2, 1. Let's get started.
This is the podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Healthy with Heartland podcast. I'm your host, Justin Freishtat. I have a special guest for you today, one of our own wellness consultants, Nick Redding. Welcome to the podcast.
What's up, everyone? Thanks, Justin, for having me.
Absolutely. So let's get into you. Introduce yourself to listeners, viewers, whichever way you're consuming this content. Who is Nick Redding? How did you end up here at Heartland?
Yeah.
Tell us your story.
So I actually, in a past life, was an engineer. So I used to work in construction, project management, but I've always been pretty interested in weightlifting, health, and good food. I was looking to make a change, and I joined Heartland about 6 months ago because I feel every day like the work that I'm doing and the knowledge that I have, I can take that and use that to make people's lives better. And it's been fantastic.
It's awesome. What it's all about. So what are we going to be talking about today?
Today we're talking about counting calories and macros, the elements of food.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have heard the terms, probably don't know what it means. So first question, what is a macro?
So macros are the building blocks of food. Everyone thinks, you put food in your body, food is food, but there's kind of three major tiers. Protein, which is what you use to build muscle, meat. And there's different proteins in other products as well. Carbohydrates, rice, pasta, things like that. Sugar, fat, which people tend to be afraid of fat, but it's actually a really good thing when you get it from the right sources and when you know how much you're getting.
Excellent. So why should I follow my macros and count calories? What's the reason to do it?
A lot of it has to do with just knowing what you're putting in your body. Most people think they can kind of estimate, I feel like I ate enough, but really you don't know. Just from my personal experience, by having everything in an app, tracking app, I can go into it and see, okay, boom, I ate enough of this, I ate enough of that, I know I'm on track, I'm where I need to be. Otherwise, you're just guessing. And if you're guessing, you're losing. Not late.
So as far as the tracking, the different apps that are out there, which one do you use and why?
I use an app called My Macros Plus. Basically, you can put in recipes for food that you are eating. You can save that, and every time you go to eat it, you just weigh it out, put a little bit in there, and getting this much fat, this much protein, this much carbs, and I'm gonna be working towards my goal for the day. I do a lot of weightlifting, and so for me, protein is really important. With protein, I'm always trying to kind of hit a certain amount. So with My Macros Plus, I can just pop into it, okay, cool, I need to eat chicken breast or something, and I'm good for the day. That's right there, easy to see. So
where can people look for the calories and macro data? Where do they find that?
A specific website that I've found very helpful called It Fits Your Macros, so IIFYM. And that's a really good source for people to start because they can go in, ask you a few simple questions about your activity levels, whether you're doing weight training or cardio, what's your height, your weight, and they'll give you a basic macro and calorie estimate that you can kind of work off of. Most people probably want to lose a bit of weight, so a lot of the time you can reduce maybe like 10% of your calories in the day. You don't really feel like you're sacrificing a whole lot, but over time, that little 10% difference is going to add up and you can lose 5, 10, 15 pounds.
If you're on a macro plan, can you still eat things like ice cream?
Absolutely. You can start your day off, maybe you have a really good breakfast, have a lot of protein, get a lot of your healthy fats. You're thinking to yourself, man, it's Friday, I want to save myself 500 calories, so tonight when I get home, I can have some ice cream. So you've got the flexibility there.
So on the topic of fats, which is one of the macros,
yes.
What are the different types and the differences? Because it's not all created equal, right?
The standard American diet, the SAD diet, people tend to eat a lot of what are called omega-6 fatty acids. So there's omega-6 and omega-3s. Most people eat a lot of vegetable oils or corn blasted beef, very high in omega-6s. Those are more of an unhealthy type of fat. Some people eat some omega-3s, not quite as much as they should, but those are going to be fats that help to reduce inflammation. It's a ratio of omega-6 to 3. So with the counting calories and the macros, you can't really account for that, but if you're trying to get your fats from good sources, generally you're going to be okay.
So one thing that I always notice on products all the time, it'll say net carbs. I think there's a lot of confusion about what that means and the relation of fiber and carbs.
Anyone out there that's tried keto diet, you often find yourself counting every carb on every nutrition label that you can find, right? Because you want to make sure you keep it down. Fiber is considered a carb, but it's not really something that your body processes. If you're going to eat a lot of vegetables, if there's 10 grams of carb, 9 grams are fiber, you're really only getting 1 gram of carb that your body's going to turn into energy.
So what about sugar alcohols? What are they? How does that factor into macros?
Sugar alcohols are things that foods will have to be sweet like sugar, but they don't typically get processed the same in your body, same as fiber. So they're kind of like a calorie that you can only count half of those grams of carbs. You don't need to count all of them. But it depends on what the sugar alcohol is. If you're eating erythritol, maltitol, something else, check it out, see what they say as a rule of thumb.
Stay healthy with Heartland. Thanks for coming on. Nick Redding.
Count them up, stay healthy.
Coming to a home near you soon.
Good seeing you guys.